we're going to start here by looking at forming and solving equations. Okay, so we'll start off by just reading what we have and seeing what we have to do. So one number is 5 greater than another. If twice the smaller number is added to the larger one, the result is 26. Find the two numbers. So what we need to do there is we need to have a look and see what we're dealing with, and we'll sort out this first bit here. So one number is 5 greater than another. So if that's the case, we don't know what the number is, so we're going to call the number x, and the other number is going to be 5 greater, so it's going to be x plus 5. Okay. Now, we've got two numbers there. If twice the smaller number, okay, so if twice the smaller number, so twice the smaller number is going to be 2 times x, is added to the larger one, the result is 26. So if twice the smaller number, okay, so 2 times x, is added to the larger one, which is x plus 5, so we're going to add that to x plus 5, to x plus 5. The result will be equal to 26. So what we're going to do, we're going to collect our x's, and we're going to bring our numbers all over to one side. So we'll start off there by collecting the x's and saying that 2x and x will give us 3x plus 5 is equal to 26. Okay. Now, in order to solve this, we need to get all the x's to one side and all the numbers to the other. So I'm going to take this here and I'm going to bring it across the equal sign. So it's going to change its value. So 3x is going to be equal to 26 minus 5. So 3x is going to be equal to 21. So 3x is equal to 21. I want to find out what 1x is equal to. So in order to find out what 1x is equal to, I divide both sides by 3. If I divide the left by 3, I get x, but I have to make sure I divide the right-hand side by 3. And 21 divided by 3 leaves me with 7. So x is equal to 7 is my number, my smaller number. So my answer is going to be x is equal to 7. And the other number that I'm going to have is going to be x plus 5. So x plus 5 is going to be equal to 7 plus 5, and 7 plus 5 is going to give me 12. So the two numbers that I'm dealing with are going to be 7 and 12, because one number was x, the other number was x plus 5. Okay, so we'll move on there and we'll have a look at the next part. So this one here, so it says write an equation for each of these shapes, solve it and find the value of a. Okay, so we're going to look at this question here. We can see there we have a rectangle, and these little lines here just mean that this side and this side are the same. Similarly, it means because you've 2 lines there and 2 lines there, it means that this side is the same length as this side. But you know yourselves from looking at it, that's a rectangle, and you know that the rectangle, you know that opposite sides in a rectangle are equal. So we can say that 4a plus 5 is equal to 3a plus 12. Okay. So we've now formed the equation. We now need to solve the equation. And how we solve the equation is we bring all the a's to one side and we bring all the numbers to the other. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to bring all the numbers to one side. So I'll bring all these here across over here. But similarly, I'll have to bring all the numbers across the equal sign here. So they'll be going that way. So I'll end up with 4a. What am I have to do in there? Sorry, we'll have to go back. I'm bringing all my a's to one side. So this is the one that's moving. Okay. So if I bring the a's across, I'll have all my a's at this side. And obviously if I bring the 5 across, I'll have all my numbers at this side. So here I have 4a minus 3a. is equal to 12 is staying at this side, and obviously that positive 5 is going to turn into a negative 5 because it's moving across the equal sign. So that will tell me 4a take away 3a leaves me with 1a, or just a. And I can say that a is equal to 12 take away 5, and 12 take away 5 leaves me with 7. The question asked me to find the value of a, and I found the value of a there to be equal to 7. Just do be careful with these questions when they come up on state exams. So if it comes up in your junior cert, it's likely that they'd ask you to find the length of the side. So it's likely that they'd ask you to find the length of the side. And if that was the case, you'd have to put 7 back in and find out what the length of the side is. So you'd have 7 times 4 is 28, plus 5 is 33. So if they wanted to know the length of the side would be 33. Okay. Similarly, 7 times 3, 7, 14, 21. 21 plus 12 is 33. So sometimes they might ask you to get the length of the sides. Okay, in this triangle here is very similar. It's a scalene triangle, and we know that these two sides are equal. Okay. Not scalene, isosceles even. So it's an isosceles triangle, and we know that these two sides are equal. So if those two sides are equal, we can say that 7a plus 4 is equal to 3a plus 24. Okay, I'll just move that across there a little bit so we can keep it all in line. So similar to the last one, what we need to do there is we need to bring all of our numbers to the right hand side and all of our letters to the left hand side. Okay, so the 7a is staying there, so we still have 7a. We're going to have a minus 3a equal to, we have 24 on the right hand side, and we're bringing across a negative 4 because it's going across, so it's turning from a positive to a negative, and we can see that there. So we're going to end up with 4a equals 20. So to find out what 1a is, we need to divide both sides by 4. So 1a will be equal to 20 divided by 4, which gives us an answer of 5. Okay. So that's that question done. Now, we'll move on and try the third one there. So again, now we have an equilateral triangle, so all sides here are equal. So we can see there that all sides are equal. But the two sides that we're dealing with are these two. So we'll just write them out. So 2 times 3a minus 2 is equal to 4 times 4a minus 3. Here we need to expand and then solve. So anytime we have brackets, we know we need to expand. So in this case, we need to expand this first and then solve. Similarly, we need to expand this here and solve. So to expand this, 2 times 3a will give us 6a. 2 times negative 2 will give us negative 4. And that will be equal to, so that will be equal to 4a, or 4 times 4a. So 4 times 4 is 16a. And 4 times negative 3 will be negative 12. In order to solve this, we need to bring all of our a's to one side. So we'll bring them all over to this side. Some of you would have brought them over to the other side, which would be perfectly fine. I'm just doing it this way to keep it consistent. So this will give us 6a minus 16a is equal to negative 12 plus 4. And if we were to simplify that, if we had €6 in the bank and we borrowed 16, we'd owe the bank 10, wouldn't we? So when we're working with negative numbers, people tend to find it easier when you think of it in terms of money. So if we owe the bank €12 and we lodge €4, now we only owe them 8. Okay. Now, in order to find a value for a, we need to divide both sides by negative 10. So if we divide both sides by negative 10, we'll get a equals negative 8 over negative 10, and that simplifies down to a equals 4 over 5. So my final answer there will be a equals 4 over 5. And just note that that turns into a positive because the negative divided by a negative is a positive. So you could put it in as a decimal or you could leave it as a fraction, but you should be simplifying it. On your state exams, it will tell you to give your answer either as a decimal or give it as a whole number, right? Or give it as a decimal or give it as a fraction. Okay. So for question 11, okay, for question 11, I'm just going to move that up there so that we can have a bit of room to do it. So for question 11, we have to form the equation first, and we can form that equation by saying 2x plus 1 plus 4x is equal to 25. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to collect my x terms, so the x terms, and make sure that that sign goes with it. So 2x plus 4x is going to give me 6x plus 1 is equal to 25. So what I need to do now is I need to find out what the x is equal to. So in order to find out what x is equal to, I need to get all the numbers away from it. So I want the x's by themselves. So 6x will be equal to 25 minus 1 because it's coming across. So 6x will be equal to 24. So in order to find out what x is, I need to divide both sides by 6. And 24 divided by 6 leaves me with an answer of 4. So my final answer there is x equals 4. Okay. Now, funnily enough, we can just see there what happens if I put 4 in for x. You can see here 2 lots of 4 will give me 8. 4 lots of 4 will give me 16, and obviously this here is 1. 16 plus 8 is going to give us 24. 24 plus 1 will give us 25. So you can see there 25, 25, and obviously that's the algebra. Okay. So that's the first few questions. That's questions 9, 10, and 11. So we're just going to continue on there with forming and solving equations. So we're going to look there at question 12 and question 13, and hopefully we'll get them done nice and quickly, right? So if we look at them, when a number is increased by 4 and the result is doubled, then the answer is 22. So what they're testing here is that you're able to form these equations. So I'm just going to give you a second to see if you can form them, and then I'll go into forming them myself. So just check to see if you can form that yourself there first. So in order to solve these, or in order to form the equations, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it bit by bit. Okay. So when a number is increased by 4, so when a number is increased by 4, that's the first kind of clue we have, right? So we have a number x, and we're going to increase it by 4, so x plus 4. Okay. It then says the result is doubled. The result is doubled. So that means that whatever I had there is being doubled. So this here is being doubled. So I'm going to double it. And how I double it is I times it by 2. And the answer is 22. It will equal 22. Okay. So that's the equation formed. You can see here that we have we have expanding brackets, so we need to expand those brackets. And once we expand those brackets, we can collect all our x's and we can collect all our numbers, and we'll be able to simplify it down to x equals. Okay. So we'll start the expanding there by saying 2 times x. So 2 times x is going to give us 2x. 2 times 4 is going to give us a positive 8. And that's equal to 22. I now need to bring all of my numbers to the one side. So I have all my x's on the left, which is a good start. But now I need to bring all of my numbers to the right. Okay. So that leaves me with 2x equals 22. If that 8 is moving across the equal sign, it turns into minus 8. So that tells me that 2x is equal to 14. Okay. So in order to find out what 1x is, I need to divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2. And if I divide by 2, I will get an answer of 7. So my answer there is 7. Okay. So that's the first question done. So we'll move down there and we'll have a look at the next one. Again, take a bit of time to read that question first, because again, like I said, they're not testing to see if you're able to solve equations. They're testing to see if you're able to form them first and then solve. Question 13. One number exceeds another by 6. Write these two numbers in terms of x. When twice the larger number is added 3 times the smaller number, the result is 32. Okay, so a lot of information there. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down, do it in bit by bit so that we can see what's happening. So one number exceeds another number by 6. So they're just trying to make this complicated. Exceed just means that one number is bigger than another. So you can start off by saying that one number will be x. So if the other number exceeds it, that means it's going to be x plus 6. Okay? So one number is x, the unknown. The one that exceeds it is going to be 6 times, or is going to be 6 bigger. So if it's 6 bigger, it's going to be plus 6. So just think about it in terms of actual numbers. If we had the number 10, if it was exceeded by 6, that means that it's going to be 6 bigger is going to be 16. Okay? Write these two numbers in terms of x, which we've just done. When twice the larger number, so I'm going to put that down here in green, twice the larger number, okay? So twice the larger number, so 2 times x plus 6, so that's 2 times x plus 6, is added to 3 times the smaller number. So I'm going to add that to 3 times the smaller number. So I'm going to say 3 times the smaller number, so 3 times x. The result, or the answer, is going to be 32. So now we've formed the equation. That's the equation formed. We just need to solve it. So we're going to start by expanding our brackets and by simplifying this. So we'll just do it step by step. There's no point in trying to do too much at one time. So just do it step by step. So start off by expanding this. 2 lots of x will give us 2x, and 2 lots of 6 will give us plus 12. We'll just do it step by step. So 2 lots of x will give us 2x, and 2 lots of 6 will give us 12. And we're adding to that 3x, and it's equal to 32. Let's just look at what we did there. 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 6 is 12. Plus, 3x, 3x equals 32. From everything that we've done so far, we're able to collect our like terms. So we're able to bring the x's together. So 2x plus 3x will give us 5x. Plus 12 equals 32. I now need to find the value for x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate the x terms. So I'm going to take anything away there that impacts on the x. So I want the x's by themselves. So I'm going to bring this 12 over here. So I'll just have 5x on the left-hand side equals 32 as a staying on the right-hand side, and I'm going to subtract 12. So that tells me that 5x is going to be equal to 20. So 1x in this case is going to be equal to 4. And the reason we know that is because we're dividing both sides by 5. Okay, so that would be our final answer there. Let me just see, is that the final answer? Find the two numbers. Okay, so one number will be x equals 4. and we need to find the other number. And how we find the other number, I'm just going to put them up here because it'll be 4 plus 6, so the other number will be 4, and 4 plus 6 is 10. So the two numbers are going to be 4 and 10. Okay.